Okay, we're not yet. Oh, good evening, good morning, whichever may apply at this time.
Good. Hello, everybody. So my name is, she said, is Latricia May. A lot of faces in here look familiar. So hey, y'all.
And hello to our Facebook family and friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Shirley Fields, and I'm going to kick this off by telling you, first of all, we are so excited and so happy to be here, and we thank Life Covenant Christian Center for inviting us out to speak to this audience, the people that are sitting here, as well as the people that are on live on Facebook or wherever you may be at this time. It is an honor and a pleasure for us to be here. We love what we do. Our goal is to educate people on buying property, building wealth through real estate. Okay, so that's what we do. And there are no dumb questions. We are limited. So if you have questions, we definitely want to answer your questions, but we want to give you the basics now. And the most important thing is securing the bag, getting the money to purchase property. And Latricia is going to talk about that a little more. I just want you to know, when you purchase property, there are 4 people on your team. You have your lender, which is extremely important because you cannot purchase without having the money, a pre-approval letter. And she's going to break down the different types of loans and the different type of pre-approvals. Then you need your realtor. That would be myself, Shirley Fields. I help you get the property once Latricia May give you a pre-approval loan. Then you have your attorney. The attorney reviews the contract. Attorney can change anything on the contract except the purchase price. And they have 5 days to do that. You also have 5 days to have your home inspection, which is the 4th person on your team. And the home inspector, what the home inspector does, he goes out, looks at the property, makes sure that it's good from the roof, the foundation, the electrical, the plumbing, and everything else in between. Once there's 2 inspections. There's a home inspection and there's an appraisal. The appraisal inspection is generally for the lender. The lender wants to know that this property praises out at the purchase price. Okay, I'm going to let Latricia go into loans.
Okay, so I want everybody in this room to say to yourself, if it is to be, it is up to me in 23.
If it is to be, it is up to me in 23.
Right, so that's the start, because when you decide you want to buy, it's a mental thing. So you have to start the process of sacrificing and saving at that point. So
you telling me I can't buy those red bottom shoes?
No, you got to put that in the bank. Oh, do you want to build it, or do you want to buy bags, or do you want to build it? Building. Okay, so no, you can't do that. Bags, shoes, purses, cars, definitely a no. It messes up your debt to income ratio. And what that is your income that you have coming in versus all the money you pay into your debt going out. So what we do, we calculate all of the debt and what income you have coming in. And we divide it by each other, and then that's what your DTI, which again is the debt to income ratio. So the important thing, though, when I say sacrificing and saving, I mentioned that because once Miss Shirley had finally convinced me to, I finally decided to take heed to what she was telling me, which is I needed to buy rental property. So once I made that decision, mentally, I said, okay, well, she said I need to do this, so I know I need to start saving up for my down payment. So me and my kids and we ate off the 99-cent McDonald's menu probably for like a year. And I saved because having your own money does give you power. Now, yes, there are down payment assistance programs out here, but a majority of them, if not most of them, they do have their own guidelines. So outside of qualifying for the lender's guidelines, you have to qualify for those down payment assistance programs guideline, and they most of the times restrict you on your debt to income ratio. And so what I mean by that, FHA has a program to where you can go up to 57% DTI. Conventional, which is a Freddie Mac and a Fannie Mae loan, you can go to 50%.
What is a Freddie Mac loan?
Freddie Mac loan is conventional. So during the subprime time, there was like a subprime loan. So this is a non-conforming loan. So it's a conforming loan. It doesn't conform to the subprime market loans.
Can you break down that terminology? Because I'm sitting here and I'm a lay person. I know nothing about a DTI, subprime.
So with the conventional loan, your down payment is 3%. If you're purchasing a single family home. But if you're purchasing a multi-unit, it goes up to 5%, depending on the program, 10%, 15%. Whereas with FHA, your down payment is 3.5%.
So let me stop you there. So if I'm buying a house that costs $100,000, you say I need 3.5% as a down payment. So that means I need how much?
You need $3,500.
Is that all I need?
That is not all you need. That is just down payment. So then there's closing costs. The closing costs. Yes, sorry. There's closing costs. You got to pay your attorney fees. There's an appraisal that you talked about. That's the appraisal fee.
So how much more is that?
I would say you would calculate an additional 3.5% for closing costs.
So 35 plus 35. Now you're telling me I need $7,000?
$7,000 based off of the $100,000 loan.
Okay.
So if it's more than that, it would be more than that.
Okay.
So
I guess we get that. Do you guys get that?
Yes.
Okay.
So what sort of kind of?
Y'all moving a little fast, and I'm trying to take notes.
Oh, okay.
Well, you will get our phone numbers. You're gonna get our phone numbers, so you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Go ahead.
You'll have to have 3.5. That's like this.
That's FHA. Conventional is 3.5 for 3% for a single family home.
Right.
But then if you're purchasing a building, which we recommend people start with purchasing a building
To build
first,
your wealth.
to build generational wealth. Because if you purchase, let's say if you buy a single family home, that's just, it's way better than renting. Let's start there. But, that's just money going out. Whereas,
and the reason why it's money going out, if I can say that, it's an asset, but we consider that a single family home as a long-term asset because it's going to build equity over the long term. But if you buy a 2-unit building, and let's say your mortgage is $2,200 a month, and you have a tenant living there that's paying $1,200 a month, how much do you have left?
you only have to pay $1,000.
So you only have to come out of your pocket with $1,000. But say for instance, it's got a basement apartment and that tenant is paying $1,200. So now how much are you coming out of your pocket with?
Zero.
So that gives you an opportunity to save your money to start so that you can buy another piece of property. Okay, then you can buy that single family because now that property will help you buy a single family. Am I correct?
You're correct. And then once you leave that unit that you're living in, that money is going to go, the money you collect off that unit is going to go towards that could go towards the payment on your new property.
And because you have a basement apartment, you have a first floor apartment, and you have a second floor apartment, now you're charging $1,212 for all three of those apartments. How much does that add up to?
$3,600.
So now you're putting some $1,200 in the bank because your mortgage is paid, and now you have passive income. Passive income is money that you can sleep and it's still going to pay you every month, every week, every day. So you can actually take that 12 and put it towards your single family home if your desire is to have a single family home.
Or you can just, put half away, half towards your single family. But the goal is to continue to save for your next property.
Okay.
Because you want to, the thought process is building generational wealth and also living a wonderful life. A lot of people do it because they think, well, I don't want to have to work. I was previously retired, based off of just all of my passive income, because now today I own 7 buildings, a total of 18 units. And I did this one property at a time. So if I did it as a single mother.
I was just going to say that. Weren't you single at the time?
Yeah, I was single. I'm single now.
Yeah.
As a single mother, had my first child at 15. So I promise you, if I can do it,
Come on.
you can do it.
Right. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us.
Right. And faith without works is dead. So you can't just say, I'm going to do it. Wake up every day. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You got to put work behind it. So first start saving. That's first. Then you call me once you save. And then we're going to get you pre-approved. And if you need help with your credit, if you feel like you're not ready right now, let me take a look at it. I can do a soft pull and I can advise you because there was once upon a time before I purchased, I had to file bankruptcy. So me, myself, and I got my credit together. I didn't go pay nobody no hundreds of thousands of dollars. I didn't do that. I learned how to do it myself.
And I'm a product of bankruptcy too. I too filed bankruptcy, and now I am living my best life. So we can all live our best life. Okay, we can definitely do it. God is not a respecter of person. What he do for me, he will definitely do for you too. But I just want to talk about knowledge. Now we're giving you the knowledge today, but guess what? If you don't apply this knowledge, it means absolutely nothing. Applied knowledge is powerful.
Okay. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask, do they still have the first time home buyers program?
Yeah, so
That's what you talked about
yeah,
earlier.
so FHA is for first-time homebuyers. They only their loan is geared towards first-time homebuyers. So when they say first-time homebuyers program, that's the 3.5% down for a first-time homebuyer.
Okay.
And so there are a lot of different other programs
You got
with conventional. So they have some conventional. If you can go conventional, which means your debt to income ratio is not that high, and you can they have a program called Purchase Plus where they will give you $7,500 towards your closing costs and down payment. They also have one where they give you $3,000, but again, they have their own criteria. But it's easier to qualify for than the other grants to where they restrict you due to your income and just other parameters that they have just to say no, or you don't qualify.
Oh.
So conventional is a little bit harder loan to qualify for than FHA.
FHA is a government-backed loan, which means if you default on the loan, the government's going to take it over. And you do pay
They pay the lender a certain percentage.
right, and you pay PMI on that type of
Yeah,
loan.
private mortgage insurance. You also pay it on conventional as well, unless you're putting 20% down.
Right, and it comes off after you have 80% of your.
It comes
property
off automatically after you reach 78%.
78. Okay.
Right, you can call in and ask for it to be removed once you're at 80% loan to
Okay.
value. And what that means is, let's say if you have $100,000 loan and the balance is now $80,000. So then now you're at 80% LTV. So they feel like you got
Loan
more
to value.
loan to value. That's what that means.
Yeah.
And they feel like you have a lot of more skin in the game, so they feel more comfortable in taking that private mortgage insurance off the loan.
Which could add up to maybe $200 to $300 additional month on your mortgage. Now that's going to wipe that out. Now, if your mortgage was $1,000, now it's only going to be $700. Okay, any questions?
He had his hand up too. Yeah, did you? Oh, okay. Right.
I have a question. Let's say I was qualified for a $300,000 loan, but I found a property and it only gonna cost me maybe $120,000 to purchase. What happens to the rest of my money?
So we go off the purchase price.
Okay.
So when you're purchasing something and the appraiser comes out, he may appraise it for what it's worth, but sometimes they just appraise it for the purchase price, because that's what they say the market, as a buyer, that's what you're willing to pay. I mean, but that's like
But
a
I
great deal.
misunderstood her question. What was your question?
She said if she finds a property that's worth 400.
I got approved for $300,000.
Oh, I thought she said she
But
found
I
it.
Right, that's
found
what I
a
said,
property that was $160,000.
That's listed at
But
$160,000.
I've been approved already for an amount.
Oh,
So
okay.
I went for my approval letter before I went shopping.
That's
Oh, that's what you wanna do
That's what
anyway.
you're supposed to do.
So
Okay.
now that they told me how much I'm shopping with, I found a property that was
Less.
less.
Mhm.
That's a good thing. If
Right.
you found the property that's less than what you approved for, you winning already.
Yes, and your debt to income ratio is going to be very low, so you can qualify for a conventional loan.
Mhm. And you can purchase that property and the other funds. Let's say, for instance, I know Latricia don't really like talking about this, the rehabs.
Oh, rehab loans.
No.
Only because since COVID, the value of material and labor have quadrupled. And I don't, and then another thing, contractors, unless you got a great dependable team, and that means they're not gonna do your job, his job, their job, running from job to job
Right.
just so their pockets can
Drag
get
it
fat. Right, drag it out. It can be very costly and very stressful.
But just say, for instance, you have everything lined up and you have that pre-approved for $350 and you found the price for $180, $190 that needed some work. That's called a 203K.
Mhm.
And a 203K, what happens with that, you can go up to your 320 and put the difference between the 190 or 160 that you're paying and the 320 and put that into the property, rehabbing the kitchen, the bathrooms, or whatever. you
Yeah,
need.
and that loan is more costly.
Right.
It's a more costly loan.
Your interest rate is a little higher.
Yeah, your
than-
interest rate is low. Yeah, it's not my favorite
Yeah.
to advise. I mean, I want people to do what they want to do,
Right.
but I just want you to be in the best position,
As
especially if it's your first property.
And don't forget, our time is just as important as our money. As a matter of fact, time is more valuable than money. And if you're doing a 203K, because I figure that's where you're headed to, you are going to spend so much time and stress trying to make sure that this thing is done right. By the time you finish, all your hair gonna be gone, you're gonna be stressed out,
Mhm.
and you're gonna still pay the same thing you would have paid
Mhm.
if the property had been rehabbed
If not
already.
more, if not more, and your interest rate is higher, and you can go on and want to refinance out of that.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
In the sense of like, credit score range to on the building, like what would that look like?
So FHA, first time home buyer program, they start at 580. So 580 minimum credit score. I know that's low. So, but at 580, your DTI is capped at 45%.
What is DTI?
We already talked about that.
I know,
Debt
but
to
you gotta
income
keep saying,
ratio.
because if you keep saying it, they don't know what, do y'all know what debt to income means?
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Okay,
Yeah, they
good,
did. So
okay.
debt to income ratio. So, okay. So I forgot your question. Ask it again so I can answer it.
Credit score range was.
Okay, so 580 minimum credit score, but at that score, you're capped at a 45% debt to income ratio. So what if I see that score, I'm gonna say, okay, you need to do a few things to get your score up to like a 600 or a 620. Because I want you to be able to get a better interest rate, and so you can qualify for more programs. I want to be able to get your DTI up to 57%. So
Does that mean that affords you to buy more house?
more buying power.
Yeah, more
So
buying
at 45%, I may say, okay, well, right now you only qualify for 200,000. But let's say if we can get you that, get your score up, then I can say you're up to maybe 250, 275. And it's just working on your credit. So that's another thing. You want to make sure you're paying all your bills on time. Once you realize that you want to buy something, let's say if you have credit cards, you want to make sure that you are 20% or less. Okay, let's say you have $1,000 balance. You want to be on that credit card. You want to owe no more than $200. So your limit is $1,000. You want to make sure your balance is $200 or less. Anytime you know that someone's going to pull your credit, because if it's 30% or more, it's going to lower your scores.
And the higher your score is, the better interest rate that you will get.
You're just putting yourself in a better position if your score is higher versus, don't buy a car either, because again, that's going to take away from your buying power.
It's going to lower your debt.
Right. If you can.
Higher, it's going to make your debt higher.
Right. Yeah, it's going to make your DTI, your debt to income ratio higher.
What would your income bracket need to be to get a nice
Good
loan?
question. Good question.
Right. It you know what? So so we don't look at it like that to say income bracket. It's just always income versus debt. So whatever your DTI is. So we could never look at someone discriminate and say, oh no, you in a low income. Right. You can't.
30,000. So but what does happen with that? If the lower your income is, the lower
buying power
you have. So if you only make 40,000 a year, and somebody else makes 60,000 a year, their buying power is going to be higher than that 40,000 a year.
Right, but if you're purchasing a multi-unit like a building, so let's say you find a 2-unit, we get to use 75% of that proposed rental income you're going to make towards your income.
So can you give us an example?
So let's say, let me see, I think I just did a loan for somebody I just pre-approved someone. So their total income was $2,000 a month. But when they're looking to purchase a 2-unit, so I added the additional proposed rental income, 75% of it. Let's say if I said the rent was $1,000, so $750 of that proposed rental income went towards their income. So now instead of $2,000 a month, they're making $2,750 a month. So if the rental income is more, then you qualify for more. That could go towards your monthly income.
Because the lender look at that as passive income.
We have to count that as income that you're going to be earning on that property. I'm sorry, someone had a hand up over here. Oh, you did.
So I heard that you said that you bought multiple properties, right? And I heard Londa say something about like the loan when it comes down to like buying the property. Well, my question to you, because I've been hearing a lot of stuff about like basically paying for people back taxes. Is that a thing to get property, or is that just hearsay?
What? I don't understand your question.
So my question is.
I know what she's asking.
Like say for instance, like what did you say?
Tax sale.
The scavenger sale tax sale.
Right. So instead of me, like say for instance, if I have $20,000 already, instead of like going to get a loan from the bank, is there any way possible if if I see a property that I like and they have like back taxes, can I like just pay for the back tax?
No, it doesn't work like that. But
Go ahead.
but you
I
can't.
saw it on a movie.
But
and
you
I saw it on real
can.
life.
You're talking. I'm in the process right now buying a piece of property from the scavenger sale. They have the scavenger sale and they have the back. They have the tax sale. There's this various sales that the city has. Okay, so with the scavenger sale, you go and you bid on the property.
Oh,
Okay, but you have to pay those back taxes. I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm buying a piece of property now. I won the bid at $5,000. Okay, I paid the $5,000, but then there's additional work because you have to hire an attorney who specializes in sales, tax sales, and that cost me $2,700 because he has to send out letters to all the owners of the property, letting them know that you're about to lose your property. First of all, taxes is the first lien. It supersedes the mortgage, everything. The taxes is the first lien. So if somebody's not paying their tax, usually if it's got a mortgage on, they're not gonna sell it. But if it's clear and free of mortgages, that's when it goes to the various tax sales. So he has to send out all these letters to the owners, the previous owners, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He have to file different paperwork with the county. So this adds up, plus he charges a fee. So now I'm $7,500 into this property already. Now, if the seller comes back, the buyer, the owner of this property comes back, they can redeem it, but they're gonna have to pay me an interest on this property. I make money on it.
Which is a high interest.
A higher interest rate. So you're not gonna lose your money that way. However, I'm still responsible for the back taxes. So once he get all that taken care of and the previous owner doesn't come forward and say they want their property back because they have to pay them back taxes, which is gonna be it's gonna cost me $40,000. So now I'm $45,000, $47,000, $500 into this property. So that's what I will really be paying for the property. So it's not like you just take your 20, you buy. You got to see what the back taxes are. Make sure that you have the money to pay these back taxes, because if not, and the seller doesn't come back, the previous owner doesn't come back, you're gonna lose your money. Yeah. Okay.
And then how many years of taxes? It's not just you just found it
Right.
this year and you get this property or you start the process. It's multiple years. They're not just going to allow you to obtain the property if it's just 1 year.
For a regular sale, it's 2 years for regular property. For commercial property, I think it's 6 years. For the scavenger sale, it's scavenger. They don't even want that property no more. So now they just, once you do but these properties been years, not being paid taxes. Okay, so imagine taxes getting up to $40,000. So this is years of people not paying their taxes. Okay,
So it's not a quick fix to owning the property.
Okay.
and not only that, with this,
No, I was just curious.
okay, and not only that, with this piece of property, I got to go in there. I got to put at least 150,000 in it or 200. It needs a new roof. It needs everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the young lady, the one with the multiple properties, so every time that you go purchase a property, do you go get like money from the bank, like to keep on getting?
Good
Yeah,
question.
I don't believe in using my own money. So I've always went to the bank. And this is why I've always cared about my credit. You don't understand this. Credit is better than money. So you know what I'm saying? So
Credit is king.
if you have a certain score, they're always going to be like, yes, you know what I'm saying? I would prefer that instead of denied. So it's very important to care about your credit. As soon as if your credit is not good today, it is tomorrow. As soon as you get it together, you make sure you pay everything on time. I mean, there's certain things you can do to get your scores up. Like for me, my son owns a 4-unit building now. I added him on as an authorized user, and that automatically boosts his score up like 70 points or 100 points.
And you know, anybody can add somebody to their car. If you got good credit, they don't have to be a regular, they don't have to be a relative. It's just somebody you want to help. Because I help young people with that. I have added them to my credit. I didn't
You
get
don't
them
gotta
a
get
credit
a
card.
card.
They never saw a credit card. I kept the credit cards myself. I just build up their credit. And one young lady, she cried. She bought a building because I added her to my credit. So all the older people, you can add the young people to your credit cards and just build, but don't get them the card.
Don't get them the card.
So is that called a trade line?
That's
Yes,
a trade line.
that's a
That is
trade
a trade line. And that's what you want. Every trade line you have, you want to make sure it's a positive trade line. And if you have negative trade line, we don't look at medical collections, but they do affect your credit scores. And if you have some, I can go over that with you as well. You want to call the creditor and you want to start very low, 10 cents on a dollar. Can I pay this off? And you, let's say we forget about this. That's possible. You can do that. I did that with my credit. So it's possible, but you can't look at certain bills and be like, put that to the side. It's only going to make things worse. You got to look at it head on, face it head on, and take care of it. Because I promise you, credit is king.
In 6 months, you can see a great big difference in your credit score.
It may not even take longer than that.
How long after, like, I remember you saying the bankruptcy. How long after a bankruptcy will you
2
be
years.
able to,
Mhm.
like purchase or?
For FHA, it's 2 years. 2 years from the discharge date. For conventional loan, it's 4.
And listen to this. Once you, from my own personal experience, and I'm sure Latricia's as well, when I filed bankruptcy, once things start getting better, they start sending you credit cards. Don't start using those credit cards. Get 1 or 2 because now you're just trying to build your credit up. But they're gonna start sending you credit cards,
Car, they want you to buy a car,
all that like crazy.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Mhm.
Don't mess it up again.
That's for the chapter 7 and the.
Chapter 13, it's more, chapter 13, you have to provide 12 months proof of pay,
Continuous.
12 months paid on time payments. And then you need authorization from the, who is it?
The
Trustee.
The
Yeah,
trustee.
trustee.
You need authorization from the trustee to purchase.
Okay.
yes. That was a good question. Thank you.
Mhm.
13 and 7. Yes.
And it's just an employment, so to say if like would you have to be like on the job for a long period of time?
Good question.
Or like, like receive 1099 independent contractor, like how would that?
Great question.
Okay, so you need to provide proof of employment for 2 years.
But do you have to be on the same job?
No, you do not have to be on the same job, even if you have an employment gap. If you have had an employment gap, that's okay too. As long as somewhere along the line, we're gonna go research. We're gonna find where you did have 2-year employment history.
Do I have to file my taxes?
If you're 1099, if you're self-employed, if you're a wage earner, please don't send me taxes. I don't even want to look at it because that's more work for me. But if you're self-employed, which 1099 is you're self-employed, yes, I will need 2 years of tax returns. And I say if you're a tax return, meaning you're self-employed, file your income. If you're claiming losses because you don't want to pay Uncle Sam, we don't see the income. That means you don't have it.
So if I work for somebody, I don't have to file my taxes.
If you work, what do you mean?
If I get a W-2.
If you work, well, if someone works, that's up to them. I'm not gonna know.
So you don't care.
I don't care.
Okay.
That's up to them. If you're wage earning, I only need W-2s. I need your last 2 years W-2s, your most recent 30 days pay stubs, and then your most recent bank statement showing me what funds you have in the bank. If you don't have enough funds today,
So I need to have money in the bank?
yeah, that's what we talked about at first. We said start saving.
Oh,
We said that's one of your first
okay.
steps. Start saving. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay,
yes, I'm gonna
okay.
want to see that you followed the first step.
So that means I should save my income taxes maybe?
Please, again, don't buy no bags, don't buy no shoes. You save that income tax
How long do I need to save my income tax?
until you reach a sufficient amount to where you have a good down
What do you
payment.
call sufficient
It
amount?
depends on the purchase of your property.
So do I need to at least say 10,000 maybe?
I would say that sounds like a good amount.
Okay. All right. I think I could do that.
I have a question. Okay, so I've done all my due diligence and now I have been pre-approved. I got my loan or whatever, right?
Pre-approved. What's the difference between pre-approved and pre-qualified?
Pre-approved and pre-qualified. I do not know the answer to that.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
okay,
But
so
let's finish your question. It
Yeah.
just came to my mind.
Okay, my question is, now that I've been approved or pre-approved, I'm gonna go spend some of my money. Is that okay? That I have towards my down payment?
that's
Can
a
I buy
her.
my shoes now?
Not to be close.
No, don't do anything. Don't buy anything. Don't use your credit cards until you close.
Until you get the key.
Until you get those keys.
When you get those keys, you can go buy your car.
Go
you can
out
buy
to
you some red
dinner.
bottoms.
Right.
You can go do whatever. Once you get the keys, you can do whatever you
I
want
would
to do.
I would say just go celebrate. And then you start saving for your next building. That's what I did. That's how, I have multiple properties. All of that stuff, it didn't matter to me. Like, I don't care about this person's brand name. I care about building my brand. I care about building a legacy for myself and my kids and grandkids. So somebody else with Christian Louboutin, that doesn't impress. Now I have some, it doesn't mean that much to me. Purses, I may see one and be like, oh, I gotta have it, but guess who bad? My tenants. My tenants bad. I feel like I'm like, okay, let me go and get this. Okay. And I can. So you just have to get that map. It's a sacrifice initially, but I promise you, it is so worth it. It is so worth it.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question on the PMI. How long, just say if you sold the property, you can't get it, or is there a time?
You mean get the money back that you paid into the PMI?
Yes.
No, sir, you will not get that money back.
Okay, you have to do it while you own it.
That's insurance.
No, he won't get it back.
You won't never get it back.
No.
I thought somebody told me that you could get it back.
Before the mortgage crisis, you used to be able to get some of that money back.
Okay.
And it was like, once you refinanced it, I think you would get a check in the mail or something. But since like 2009, 2008, all of that's changed. Even the PMI for FHA used to not be for the life of the loan, but now it's for the life of the loan. If you're only putting 3.5% down, the more you put down, the amount of percentage of PMI, the longevity of it goes down.
Can you explain what, because I, as a realtor, and I list properties, I see people come in with pre-approvals and pre-qualified. Now, I always take the pre-approvals over the pre-qualified.
So a pre-qualification letter is just basically usually when someone just submits, well, they just applied and their information has been verified. But a pre-approval is what I like to, send out, is when the information has been verified. I've reviewed your credit, I've reviewed your income, and I reviewed your assets. So, and that means that it's stating that this person has been pre-approved, but my company has something even better. We have a verified loan approval, but I can only, and that means this pre-approval, well, this verified loan approval, it actually states that if you don't close, we'll give you $1,000. We can't do it for self-employed individuals.
And see, that's what my listing, when I'm selling property for somebody,
that's what you want to see.
That's what I want to see. Because now I look good to my listing agents, to my sellers. I say, I got somebody I know gonna close on this. If they don't close on this, they gonna give you $1,000.
Right, and that's why.
So that's what I want you guys to get.
Right, and you only can get this letter if you have your own assets. I can't say this is pending their approval for down payment assistance. This if I verified your income and your employment and your assets. So if everything is in the file, I send it up. We got 24-hour underwriting. I send it up to them, and they send me a verified loan approval.
And in that case, we can close faster too.
We can close faster.
Is my car an asset?
No,
No.
it's a liability.
It's a liability, and it's messing up your DTI.
What's the asset?
That multi-unit that you're gonna purchase, that becomes an asset. At this
Yeah.
point, that is your asset.
Yeah, we don't look at things like that, like furniture and things like that. The only thing we look at is assets, the income you have, a 401k, and that's another thing. If you have a 401k at your job, invest in it, especially if they're contributing towards that. Go ahead and invest in that. Like
when you say invest in it, what that mean? Invest in it.
Let them take it out your check. Take the money out your check. Say, hey, I want to get 5%, 10%, whatever you can afford to give, and whatever they're going to match. In addition.
Oh,
so whatever they're going to match, give it up. Because you won't even see it, and it won't even matter. You're going to get used to not seeing it, but and it's worth it in the end because that's money you don't see. It accumulates.
Yes, it does.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Owning property, real estate property,
lowers
your taxes. It's a write-off.
But on my job, we don't have a 401k. We have a 403b. Are they the same?
They're the same. They are the same. A 403b is the same as a 401k. And if you have neither, you got to set something up with your bank.
Yeah, make your own.
Right, make your own. Say, take this out. You can set it up with your job to say, put this in this account, and then don't look at it. Try not to look at it. Tell yourself you don't have it. You got to psych yourself out. But it is very important to say, even once you have your property, whether it's a single family home, it's important to save
for a rainy day.
Right.
Because now you can't call the landlord. Everything is on you. If the roof goes bad, you can't call your landlord. You are the one that has to fix it. Not only that, you have when you purchase your own property, especially if it's a multi-unit, you're responsible for the water bill, all the bills. Okay, now if you got a single family and you rent it out, because you're going to grow so big that you guys are going to start buying single families too. And with a single family, you can rent those out and you don't have any responsibility. You can put that all on the tenant. They got to pay the water bill, the gas bill, the light bill, the gardener, all that stuff. Now, major stuff, if the roof goes bad, yes, you're going to put a roof in. But as you grow and you're as investors and you're starting to buy property and building wealth, even if you buy single families, you are not liable. You can make yourself not liable for a lot of stuff.
Right, but with my multi-units, I don't pay any utilities except for the water bill. And I'm
Right.
about to try to figure out a way to put that on the tenants too.
Just divide it up.
So, I need to, because they don't care if they
How much water
toilet
they use.
leaking.
Right.
They don't care. But me, that's gonna cost me an extra $1,000.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
it's crazy. And I just want to point this out when I say save, and I just emphasize on that, because you're gonna realize, wake up and you just gonna say, I just got so much stuff.
Right.
I accumulated so much stuff, and it's just no value to it.
Mhm.
So, and you know, but when you wake up and realize you got this property or properties,
Right.
and you know, you found out you purchased this for this amount and the value have quadrupled,
Mm.
that's
Absolutely.
a way better feeling than this
Mhm.
stuff
That's
that has
a-
no
yeah.
value that you're gonna end up giving away.
Right.
You know, Burberry.
Send it to Africa.
Yeah,
or
you know,
whatever, 'cause that's what we do.
it's gonna be good
We
that
send
first
our
time you
stuff
wear it.
to Africa, stuff we're not even using anymore. We
And it's a
bless
lot
other
of
people.
stuff.
Yes, a
It's
lot of
just stuff. I don't care how much you pay for it today. Tomorrow it's going to be stuff. But property increases in value. It's going to increase your net worth, and it's going to be something you can leave to your children. And that's very important. Leaving generational wealth, like Yolanda said, legacy.
Mhm.
All them clothes and shoes. It's just stuff. The importance is, what do we have today? We didn't receive 40 acres and a mule. We not gonna get it. You got to get out here and get it for yourself.
Mhm. And to wrap it up, to be respectful of the time. Oh, let's answer.
I have a 6-unit building on Southeast End of Chicago.
Commercial.
paid for.
Nice.
However, I'm trying to get a lot of things redone, rehab.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a hard time getting.
Yeah, financial, because that's a commercial loan. Anything over 4 units is commercial. From 1 to 4 units is residential. I can help you with those type of properties. I can refer you to someone to see if they can assist you with that.
Especially if it's paid for.
Yeah, especially if it's for, you
Yeah,
have equity.
You got equity in that property. So you can get a loan from a commercial lender to help you do the rehabbing that you need to do.
And speaking of equity, we didn't talk about
Yeah,
that. We
that's
got
what
a few
we
minutes.
have a few minutes left, and that's what I want
Okay.
to wrap it up.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
equity, what is equity? Equity is, let's say for one of my properties, the value is 400,000, but let's say that I only owe 200,000. I have an additional 200,000 in equity, free money that it's not free because I'm gonna borrow against, so I can pull that money out and go invest in another building, invest in a business.
In your children's education, whatever you choose to.
It's just building my legacy, generational wealth. So it's just best, you can't do that with renting. Renting is just money going into a black hole. Yeah, you got a roof over your head, but you're not investing in yourself. So it's better to put that rent money into something that you own. Do you want to watch your money grow, or are you going to just watch it go? Me, I want to watch mine grow. Every dollar has a job.
And so to wrap it up, let's wrap building wealth through real estate. This is something that we do. This is something that we enjoy doing. So we hope that we've been a benefit to you. And remember, applied knowledge is what counts. And don't be afraid. Fear is false evidence appearing real. And the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. Write your vision and make it plain. You may not be able to do it today, tomorrow, but you can do it sooner or later.
Work on it every day.
Work on it every
Every
day.
day.
And we are here to assist you. And always know that there are no dumb questions. You cannot grow without asking questions. And remember, failure does not mean defeat, because you all going to get there.
And I'll give everyone my cards. Feel free
Okay.
to reach out to me and ask me any question.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you all.
And I'm Shirley Fields.
Latricia May,
Let's
thank you.
wrap building wealth through real estate. Okay.
Thank you, ladies. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us. I pray that this was some information, some knowledge, some tools that you guys could use. For those of you who wanted to get off into construction, see me after all of this is done. I can get you your application. We have apprenticeships for construction. So if you want to build, remember what I said. We want to own our own everything, especially the land. So I have applications for those that desire to get off into the construction world. We also have an office apprenticeship. So anybody that wants to work in an office arena, there's an apprenticeship that's available for you guys too. And I have an application for you guys to do that. All these things are grant funded. So there are the grant funds that will assist you
pay for you to go to school. So that is all we have for you guys. Thank you guys for joining us on the live. Remember, share this information because we moving towards that each one teach one so that we can possess the land. You guys be blessed and have a great day.
I do, yeah, thank you.